students. Today we continue the next topic, that is after a long gap we are connecting with we are going to connect with each other. That is today's topic. Till now we have seen pollutants. Next is after pollutants we have seen the sources of pollutants. Next, after sources of pollutants we have completed your next topic, that is your types of pollutions. These types of pollutions are nothing but air pollution, water pollution and land pollution, or it can also be called as soil pollution. We have completed all this. Next, after that we have seen renewable and non-renewable energy resources. Next, in renewable energy, non-renewable energy resources, that is conventional energy resources, that is your fossil fuels as renewable energy resources also we have completed. Next, after that biomass as bioenergy also we have completed. Next is bioindicators, how bioindicators will help us to indicate that or monitor how they monitor, how bioindicators monitor, what is the function of bioindicators to monitor the environmental pollution also we have seen. Now after that we have seen many things regarding our fossil fuels. Next, natural fuels as well as artificial fuels like petroleum, oil, coal, diesel. Next, natural gas. About all these we have studied. Now today we are going to see the types of biomass. We are going to see types of biomass. The next topic is types of biomass. Now in this we are going to see about the plant biomasses, animal biomasses and microbial biomasses. Okay, these three things we are going to see, that is plant, animal and microbial biomass. Regarding this we are going to see. Then let us see what is biomass. Bio means your living organisms. Next, mass means weight. That means the total cellular and organic mass. The total cellular and organic mass produced by a living organism is called biomass. Ante the total cellular anni cells kalpite unnanta weight. Next is cell weight, means all the cell organelles weight. Next, DNA weight, all this along all the cellular mass and your organic mass. What is organic mass? Your biochemicals, proteins, lipids. Next, your sugars, carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, fats, all these biochemicals what are present in our cells, all these they will be combinedly, that is the cell weight as well as your biochemical weight, all these are combined. What are biochemicals? Your organic molecules or organic mass, all these masses they are combined, that is your cell mass as well as the biochemical mass, all these are combined together of a living organism is known as its biomass. Okay. Now this biomass is nothing but it produces fuel. That is, it is a renewable source of energy because it is a living organism. It is not. It is a renewable source. From the plants you will get energy. From the animals also you will get energy. From the microorganisms also you will get energy. And they do not cause any type of air pollution. Renewable energy resources and these biomasses are renewable energy resources. They are used as fuel. Next, they give energy to the living organisms, to the environment. First thing, they can be again, their number is unlimited. They can be produced, they can be regrown or regenerated. Next is they do not cause any type of pollution, environmental pollution. So these biomass are used as a source of fuel, renewable source of fuel, and they produce energy from the waste material residues which are produced from the plants, animals and microbial waste. Next, these biomass can be produced from forests, from the municipal waste and from the agricultural waste, etc. So biomass from the plants, that is from the forest, from the municipal waste. Next is from the agricultural waste, etc. From all these you can get this biomass. Next, this biomass includes your wood, crops. This biomass includes wood, crops, plant residues, agricultural waste. Next, forest products, animal waste like dung, etc. All these will be considered as biomass. Now, this biomass is of three types. They are the plant biomass, animal biomass and microbial biomass. Plant biomass, animal biomass and microbial biomass. Now, let us start with plant biomass. Okay. Now, let us start with plant biomass. Plant cell wall is made up of many components. What are they? Cellulose, hemicellulose, lignin, amino acids, proteins, next ethers, next it also consists of water soluble sugars. That means cellulose, hemicellulose, water lignin, water soluble sugars, amino acids, ethers and your proteins. All these are produced from your plant biomass. Next, these components build up the plant biomass. They help in the production of your plant biomass. Now see here, this plant biomass, first let us see cellulose. First one is cellulose. See here, cellulose is an important component of the primary cell wall of an plant cell. Cellulose is the primary constituent of the plant cell wall, or it is useful in the construction of the primary cell wall. This is your cell, this is another cell. Now see here, in between these two, it is known as middle lamellum. It is a cementing material present between two cells. Just like while constructing a building, between two bricks, cement is placed. Just like that, between two cells, middle lamellum is present. That is, this will be acting as a cementing material. It is viscous in nature. Now this is your primary cell wall. This is your secondary cell wall. Okay. Now this is your cytoplasm. This is your plasma membrane. Okay. Now see here. So in these cells, the cellulose constitutes the primary cell wall of the plant cell. Green plants. Next, it is made up of many glucose molecules. That is, many glucose residues are joined with each other. By means of beta 1,4 linkage. Many beta 1,4 linkages will join the many glucose residues or many glucose molecules to construct cellulose. First thing. Second one, this cellulose can be converted to cellulosic ethanol. Inka mottam cellulose gurinchi cheppali. It is converted into cellulosic ethanol. Okay? It is converted into cellulosic ethanol. And this cellulosic ethanol is used as a biofuel, which is a renewable energy source. Large amounts of cellulose is produced from non-forest or non-food crops like your salix and populus. This cellulose is converted into cellulosic ethanol. It is a renewable biofuel. Just like your petrol, it can be used. Next one. This cellulose is produced in large amounts from the non-food producing crops like your salix and populus. Salix and populus, or salix can also be called as willow plant, and from that salix plant and the populus plant, which are not food crops, only trees will be grown which are used for firewood, and these are used for your production of large amount of cellulose. Next, this bagasse of cellulose material of sugarcane. So see here, sugarcane, when you go for producing your juice, when you want to drink sugarcane juice, you will go to that person and ask for a glass of sugarcane juice. When you ask for a glass of sugarcane juice, he will insert one or two those sugar canes in the machine so that you will get the juice, and the rest of that, it is nothing but that pulp will be released, and that pulp is nothing but it is known as bagasse. దిస్ పల్ప్ ఈజ్ నోన్ యాజ్ బెగాసే. అంటే ఏంటి, షుగర్ కేన్ జ్యూస్ తీసేసినాక ఒక పక్కన జ్యూస్ వస్తుంది, ఇంకొక పక్కన పిప్పిలాగా బయటకు వచ్చేస్తుంది వేస్ట్. ఆ వేస్ట్ ఏమంటారంటే బెగాసే అంటారు. ఇట్ ఈస్ ఫుల్ ఆఫ్ సెల్యులోస్. దిస్ బెగాసే ఈజ్ full of cellulose, and now what you have to do is the extraction. After that, this bagasse is used by microorganisms. We use this bagasse and convert it into cellulose, ethanol. It is converted into cellulosic ethanol, or it can be called as simply ethanol is produced, or alcohol is produced from this bagasse, and nothing but this is about your sugarcane bagasse. Now coming to the sugarcane molasses. What is sugarcane molasses? Molasses are nothing but, these are nothing but after getting the juice. ఇప్పుడు చూడండి, షుగర్ కేన్ జ్యూస్ తీసిన తర్వాత మనం జ్యూస్ తీసేసుకుంటే దానికి వెనక వచ్చిన ఆ పిప్పిని మనం బెగాసే అంటాం. దాన్ని మనము మైక్రో ఆర్గానిజమ్స్ యూజ్ చేసో లేకపోతే దానికి కొంచెం వాటర్ మిక్స్ చేసి దాన్ని అలా వదిలేస్తే కొన్ని రోజులకి అది ఒక ఆల్కహాల్ లాగా ఫెర్మెంట్ అవుతుంది. దట్ ఆల్కహాల్ ఈజ్ యూజ్డ్ యాజ్ ఎ బయోఫ్యూయల్. నెక్స్ట్ వన్ ఏంటి, మైక్రో ఆర్గానిజమ్స్ కూడా అవసరం లేదు, అదే తయారైపోతుంది. నెక్స్ట్ షుగర్ కేన్ తీసుకుంటే మనకి జ్యూస్ వచ్చింది. ఆ జ్యూస్ వస్తే ఆ జ్యూస్ని తీసుకెళ్ళి పెద్ద పెద్ద గిన్నెలలో పోసి కింద మంట పెట్టి వెలిగించి దాన్ని ఇట్లా తిప్పుతూ ఉంటారు పాకం పట్టేటట్టు. ఆ తిప్పగా 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 అది చిక్కటి బ్లాక్ కలర్ మెటీరియల్ లాగా తయారైతుంది. ఆ చిక్కగా తయారైన అదేంటి అంటే బెల్లం పాకంలాగా తయారైతుంది, పంచదార పాకంలాగా, అంటే షుగర్ కేన్ పాకం. అదే మనం ఇంకా ఎక్కువ చేస్తే దట్ బికమ్స్ యువర్ జాగరీ, అంటే బెల్లం తయారవుతుంది. మనం ఇంట్లో యూజ్ చేసే గుడ్ బెల్లం తయారవుతుంది. అందుకోసమని ఆ షుగర్ కేన్ జ్యూస్ని తీసుకొని దానిలో వేసి ఒక బట్టి లాంటిది ఒక పెద్దది గిన్నెలో వేసి కింద నుంచి ఫైర్ పెట్టి దాన్ని తిప్పుతూ 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 ఉంటే కొంచెం సేపటికి అది చిక్కటి పాకంలాగా తయారవుతుంది. ఆ పాకాన్నే మొలాసెస్ అంటారు. Okay, that molasses is used for the production of your liquid fuel, that is ethanol. This is used for the production of ethanol, that is also known as liquid fuel. Okay, it is known as liquid fuel. Okay, now with this, see here, after this liquid fuel is produced, now this is about your cellulose. So cellulose is a polysaccharide which is nothing but produced in the primary. It helps in the constitution of the primary cell wall of the plant cells. Next, this cellulose is made up of many glucose units, that is joined by beta-1,4 linkage. Next, this cellulose helps in the synthesis of cellulosic ethanol, which is a renewable biofuel. And next, from sugarcane bagasse, this will be, and this is used for the production of cellulosic ethanol, or simply any ethanol or alcohol. And next, sugarcane molasses consists of large amount of cellulose, just like your bagasse. Molasses also consists of large amount of cellulose. So from this molasses also ethanol is produced. This is known as a liquid fuel. Now coming to the hemicellulose. See here, second one is hemicellulose. See here, hemicellulose is also a constituent of your primary cell wall. The primary cell wall is made up of cellulose, hemicellulose and calcium. Andariki telisindi. The cell wall, primary cell wall is made up of cellulose, hemicellulose and calcium. Now, so hemicellulose, just like cellulose, hemicellulose is also or hemicellulose is just like cellulose. It also constitutes the primary cell wall of your plant cells. Not only primary cell wall, secondary cell wall is also made up of cellulose and hemicellulose. Now, this hemicellulose, it is made up of 3 hexose sugars and 2 pentose sugars. That is, see here, glucose, mannose and galactose. These are the three types of hexose sugars, and xylose, next is arabinose. Xylose and arabinose, these two are pentose sugars. All these will be combined with each other to construct your hemicellulose. Now, it comprises of 20% of biomass of plants. It constitutes 20% of biomass of the plants. Now, this is about the hemicellulose. Now, coming to the next one, that is lignin. See here. Next one is lignin. See here. Second one is known as lignin. See here. Third one is lignin. See, lignin is a complex and high molecular weight polymer. See here. Lignin is a complex material. It is having high molecular weight. It is a complex and high molecular weight containing polymer, or you can call it as a material, or it is a compound. Next, it is phenolic in nature. See here, lignin is a complex high molecular weight compound. It is phenolic in nature and it is very stable. It is very stable. Next one, it is difficult to isolate as it occurs between the cells and cell walls. See here, in between the cell wall, here lignin is present, here also lignin is present. That means it is difficult to isolate as it is difficult to isolate because it is present between the cells and between the primary and secondary cell walls. So it is difficult to isolate because it is present between the cells and between the primary and the secondary cell walls. So this is associated with cellulose and hemicellulose. This is associated with cellulose and hemicellulose, which gives strength and rigidity to the cells. When lignin is present in the cell wall, on the secondary cell wall, if lignin is deposited on the secondary cell wall, this is known as lignification. The deposition of lignin on the secondary cell wall is called lignification, and in this lignified layer only, through this lignified layer only, small pits are produced. They are called as wells, through which plasmodesmata are connected. అంటే ఇక్కడ సెకండరీ సెల్ వాల్ ఉంది, ఈ రెండింటికి మధ్య ఒక బ్రిడ్జ్ లాంటిది ఫామ్ అవుతుంది. దాన్ని ప్లాస్మోడెస్మాటా అంటారు. బిట్వీన్ టూ సెల్స్ ఇంటర్రిలేటెడ్, ది టూ సెల్స్ ఆర్ రిలేటెడ్ టు ఈచ్ అదర్, or the transfer of material from one cell to another cell takes place through a cytoplasmic bridge called as a plasmodesmata, and this plasmodesmata is connected from the two secondary cell walls of two the plasmodesmata is connected between the secondary cell walls of two cells, and where lignification is there, which produces small pits, and through those pits they will be producing small pores. Those pit pores, through those pit pores, the plasmodesmata or cytoplasmic bridges are connecting the two adjacent cells, so that the material can be intertransferred from one cell to another cell. Now, this is lignification. Now, see here, this gives a rigidity to the strength and rigidity to the cells. Next one, this paddy husk. See here. అంటే ఏంటి? ప్యాడీ హస్క్ అంటే ఏంటి అంటే మన బియ్యం వడ్లపైన వచ్చే పొట్టు, వడ్ల మీద నుంచి వచ్చే పొట్టు మనం ఊక అంటాం, దాన్ని తెలుగులో ఊక అంటాం. ఆ ఊక పొట్టు ఏంటి అంటే కెన్ రిప్లేస్ కోల్ అండ్ మినరల్ ఆయిల్. అంటే ఏంటి? కోల్ని మినరల్ ఆయిల్ని రిప్లేస్ చేసేంత పవర్, కావాల్సినంత ఫ్యూయల్ దానికి పొట్టుకి ఉంది, ఊకకి. సో ప్యాడీ హస్క్ కెన్ రిప్లేస్ యువర్ మినరల్ ఆయిల్ యాజ్ వెల్ యాజ్ కోల్ అండ్ మినరల్ ఆయిల్. నెక్స్ట్ వన్, టొపియోకా. టొపియోకా అంటే తెలుసా అందరికి? టొపియోకా మీన్స్ మనం తెలుగులో మనకి టొపియోకా చిప్స్ కూడా దొరుకుతాయి మనకి చిప్స్ షాప్లో. టొపియోకా అంటే పెండలము. అందరికీ తెలుసో తెలీదో కేరళలో ఎక్కువ ఉంటుంది, అది పండుతుంది. మన ఆంధ్రాలో కూడా ఎక్కువ ఉంటుంది. తెలంగాణ కాదని ఆంధ్రాలో ఎక్కువ యూజ్ చేస్తారు పెండలము. కేరళలో, కర్ణాటకలో చాలా ఎక్కువ యూజ్ చేస్తారు టొపియోకా. సో this tapioca has a high starch content. This starch is also an important source of alcohol. It consists of large tapioca అంటే పెండలం. ఎట్లా అంటే మన కందగడ్డలు ఉంటాయి చూడండి, కందగడ్డలు అంటే అది పుల్లగంద. ఆ పుల్లగంద లాగానే కింద భూమిలో పెరుగుతుంది, దాని ఆకులేమో తమలపాకులు లాగా ఉంటాయి. ఆ టొపియోకా ప్లాంట్ నుంచి తీసుకున్న ఆ గడ్డని అదేంటి దాన్ని ఏమంటాం మనము ఆ టొపి ఒక పెండలాన్ని తీసుకొని పుల్లగందలాగా పెండలం అంటారు. ఆ పుల్లగంద లాంటిదే పెండలం కూడా తీసుకొని దానిలో చాలా స్టార్చ్ ఉంటుంది. ఆ స్టార్చ్తో ప్రొడ్యూస్ ఆల్కహాల్. నెక్స్ట్, యాజ్ ఎ రిజల్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఫోటోసింథసిస్ లార్జ్ అమౌంట్ ఆఫ్ బయోమాస్ ఈజ్ అక్యుములేటెడ్. అవునా కదా, ఫ్రమ్ ప్లాంట్స్ యాజ్ ఎ process of photosynthesis. Due to photosynthesis, a large amount of this is released, energy is released, and which is nothing but your starch is synthesized. Along with that starch, the oxygen is released, which is used for the inhalation of the human population. Next one, in the aquatic and terrestrial ecosystems, which is used as a source of energy. And when plants are undergoing photosynthesis, they will be releasing oxygen and starch is synthesized, and this oxygen is useful both for terrestrial ecosystem, that is for living organisms, living beings like your living organisms like animals and for humans, and not only that, for the aquatic organisms also like fish, they will be living and they will be gaining energy because of these plants only. Due to photosynthesis, it will be releasing energy. Now coming to the terrestrial biomass, this coming to the next one is terrestrial biomass. Terrestrial biomass is nothing but it is a biomass which is produced from the trees. అవునా కదా, ల్యాండ్ నుంచి. టెరిస్ట్రియల్ అంటే ల్యాండ్, aquatic కాదు మనం అనేది. టెరిస్ట్రియల్ బయోమాస్ అంటే it is used to fulfill the need of the food, feed, vegetables, next cooking purpose as well. The terrestrial biomass is used for the production of food, for the production of wood, that is for your fuel, cooking fuel, and for the production of vegetables. These terrestrial biomasses are useful. Next, forests contribute a considerable amount of biomass, terrestrial biomass, with lignocellulosic content in the cells is used as a source of energy. See here. Now, the terrestrial biomass consists of forests. Forests constitute the largest terrestrial biomass, and this biomass is useful for the production of fruits, food, vegetables, and your wood for cooking purpose. For all these, the energy is released. Not only that, because of the presence of large amount of lignocellulose or lignin and cellulose and hemicellulose in their cell walls, after death and decay also they will be releasing renewable energy in the form of fossil fuel, that is biofuel. This is about your terrestrial biomass. Coming to the aquatic biomass. Next one is your aquatic biomass. What is aquatic biomass? The water biomass, the biomass that is produced from the water living organisms. That is, the aquatic biomass is converted into biogas. Salvina, an aquatic fungi. ఇప్పుడు మేము ఈజీ చెప్తాను ఫస్ట్. Aquatic biomass is the phytoplanktons or the plants that are growing in water, they constitute the biomass. ఎందుకంటే మనం we are talking about plant biomass. The plants that are growing in water, how they help in the production of bioenergy. How their biomass is useful in the, how the aquatic plants biomass is useful as your energy. How it is useful. First one is water hyacinth. Example is ఐకోనియా. మనం తెలుగులో గుర్రపు డెక్క అంటాం. చెరువుల మీద పైన అంతా గ్రో అయిపోయి ఉంటుంది ఇంత ఆకులతోటి. దాన్ని ఏమంటామంటే గుర్రపు డెక్క అంటాము, లేకపోతే వాటర్ హయాసింత్ అంటారు, లేదా ఐకార్నియా అంటారు. దిస్ ఐకార్నియా ఈజ్ యూజ్డ్ ఫర్ ది సింథసిస్ ఆఫ్ బయోగ్యాస్. ఫస్ట్ వన్, ఇట్ ఈస్ యూజ్డ్ ఫర్ ది సింథసిస్ ఆఫ్ బయోగ్యాస్. సెకండ్ వన్, స్పైరులినా అండ్ క్లోరెల్లా, గ్రీన్ ఆల్గే ఉన్నాయి. Spirulina and chlorella, they are used as, and your blue green algae, they are used as a rich sources of protein, vitamins and beta carotene. When you take those tablets of spirulina, they are rich in proteins, vitamins as well as your beta carotene. So when you eat that tablet, when you consume that spirulina tablet, that will be used as a slimming agent. అంటే మనం సన్నగా ఉండి మంచి ఫిజిక్తో ఉండడానికి స్పైరులినా టాబ్లెట్స్ వేసుకోవచ్చు, మనకి బయట దొరుకుతాయి. దే డూ నాట్ కాజ్ ఎనీ టైప్ ఆఫ్ సైడ్ ఎఫెక్ట్స్ అంటారు. మరి అది తెలుసుకోవాలి, డాక్టర్ని అడిగి వేసుకోవాలి. ఆ స్పైరులినా వేసుకుంటే మనకి డైరెక్ట్గా ప్రోటీన్స్, విటమిన్స్ అండ్ బీటా కెరోటిన్ వచ్చి దట్ ఈజ్ యూజ్డ్ యాజ్ ఏ స్లిమ్మింగ్ ఏజెంట్. నెక్స్ట్ వన్, ఆల్గల్ బయోమాస్ కెన్ మీట్ ది డైలీ రిక్వైర్మెంట్స్ ఆఫ్ విటమిన్స్ అండ్ ఆల్ మినరల్స్ ఫర్ అన్ అడల్ట్ హ్యూమన్ పర్ డే. అంటే ఇప్పుడు చెప్పినవి విటమిన్స్, మినరల్స్, ప్రోటీన్స్ అన్నీ మనకు కావాల్సిన ఒక పొద్దున ఒక ట్యాబ్లెట్, రాత్రి ఒక ట్యాబ్లెట్ వేసుకుంటే సరిపోతుంది. ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఏంటి అంటే స్పైరులినా, అగైన్ స్పైరులినా అండ్ క్లోరెల్లా. నౌ ఇంకొకటి ఏంటి అంటే సాల్వీనా అని ఒక ప్లాంట్ ఉంది. సాల్వీనియా అండ్ ఎక్వాటిక్ వీడ్ అంటే ఏంటి, మొత్తం వాటర్ మీద గ్రో అయిపోతుంది. దాని పేరు మన గుర్రపు డెక్కలాగా, ఐకార్నియా, పిస్టియా వాటిలాగానే ఇది గ్రో అవుతుంది. దాని పేరు ఏంటంటే సాల్వీనియా. Salvinia is another water weed. Aquatic weed is used for the production of biogas. This weed grows very rapidly and it is used for the production of biogas. With this we have completed our plant as plant biomass. That is one of the type of biomass is plant biomass. In this we have seen cellulose, hemicellulose, lignin, next your terrestrial biomass as well as aquatic biomass. This is asked as a short question, and if not, the types of biomass can be asked as your long question. Okay students, now today we'll stop here, and in the next class we'll continue with the animal biomass and the microbial biomass. Okay, thank you students.